Hello and welcome to Econ 261 Online. My name is Wendy Benson. You can call me Dr. B, and I am just creating this video to give you a brief overview of the syllabus and to show you how you'll be using Canvas throughout the semester to access course content and submit assignments. So let's go ahead and start by taking a look at the syllabus and make sure that on your own you click the Start Here tab and you go through the prompts there. But let's go ahead and take a look at the syllabus. So if you want to get a PDF version of the syllabus, you can click this little link right here and download the syllabus file, or you can look at an embedded version of the syllabus right here. But I'm going to go ahead and click this and get the PDF version because it'll be easier to see. Okay, so here we go. So here's me, right, Wendy Benson. You can contact me via email through the little inbox tab at the top right of your Canvas page. If you need to call me, you can call me at my office phone. The phone number is right here. The best way to reach me, though, is email. So I would avoid the phone. Shoot me an email. I check it most of the time. Also, my office is in LAS 258 on the NSC campus. You are more than welcome to schedule an in-person meeting with me if you're struggling with some of the material in the class or you just want to talk about the class in general. Also, if you're not available to come meet with me on campus, there's something called Cranium Cafe that's available in Canvas that we can meet online and share screens and do video conferencing and all sorts of things there. So it's a really good resource, and I'm certainly happy to help you in any way that I possibly can this semester. Because statistics is a little intimidating, especially in an online format. So please know that I am a resource and I am super happy to meet with you and help you do the best that you possibly can in this class. So here's me trying to keep it light with my silly little cartoon there. Also, what you should be able to do after this class, essentially you're just going to be a better consumer of research. You're going to have a better understanding of the different types of variables that can be measured in research and the most appropriate ways to display and make sense of that data. Now, keep in mind that Econ 261 is the first in a series of 2 statistics classes in the business department. Econ 262 is the next step in this series and is really focused on something called hypothesis testing, so figuring out if there's statistically significant results from research. However, this class is more focused on basic descriptive measures of data and probability as well. So you can go through what to expect from this class in this section of the syllabus on your own, but for now, I just want to emphasize that this is a time-intensive class. So a lot of students perceive online classes to be easier than in-person classes, but that is not always the case, especially when it comes to statistics. You aren't going to have the benefit of being able to meet with me regularly once a week in person to talk about this stuff. So you're going to have to take it upon yourself to master this material on your own. Granted, I'm going to give you a ton of resources, including really detailed video lectures and tutorials, but it is going to take about 8 to 12 hours per week to complete the content that you need to complete for this course. Now here in a little bit, when we go through the assignments, I'll give you an explanation of all the different things that you'll be doing, but for now, just keep in mind that this will require quite a bit of time on your part. So if you are in a situation right now where you're taking too many classes or you've got way too many obligations in your life, you may either want to drop a couple of classes so that you can really focus on this class, or maybe take this class another time when you have more time to devote to it. Because trust me, you can do well. There's tons of resources for you, but you must have the time to devote to this class to do well. So please set yourself up for success and don't take this class if you're already too stretched this semester. Also, I want you to keep in mind, a lot of people are intimidated by statistics because they see it as like a really hard math class. But for this particular statistics class, you don't have to be a math whiz. The level of math involved in this class is pretty basic. It's like elementary algebra. The hard part of this class is making sense of the concepts and being able to explain what the values you come up with indicate. So that is the more complex part, not necessarily the math. So don't let the math scare you. So there's some materials that I suggest for the class. The textbook is suggested. It's pretty good, and I made the lectures, based on the contents in the textbook, but just keep in mind that I'm never going to assign problems out of the textbook, and everything that you need to know, everything that I'm going to present to you on assignments is going to be presented in the videos that I post. So there's not going to be anything that I don't discuss in a lecture that's hidden in the textbook that I'm going to make you responsible for knowing. So just keep that in mind. If you're not able to afford the textbook, or you generally know you're not going to read the textbook, it's not an emergency situation in this class because the videos give you pretty much everything you need. That being said, the more ways that you expose your brain to the material, the better. So I strongly encourage you to get the textbook, flip through it, read the chapter before you watch the lecture, so that when you're watching the lecture, you're not being exposed to that stuff for the very first time. Also, I suggest that you get a basic calculator. The calculator that's probably already equipped on your computer is totally fine. You don't need any fancy types of computations on your calculator. As long as you can add, subtract, divide, multiply, square root, and square, you're good to go. You don't need to spend a bunch of money on a calculator for this class. Now, the things that you absolutely must have, obviously a computer. This is an online class. So make sure that you have a computer that you are able to stream YouTube videos with and also meets the minimum technical requirements for Canvas. So a lot of the lecture videos that I'm going to be posting will be on YouTube. So make sure that you have the ability to watch YouTube videos. Also, you must have Microsoft Office for this class. A lot of the documents that I'm going to be giving to you will be in Microsoft Word or Microsoft Excel format, and you're going to be using Excel to do analysis this semester. So it's critical that you have a copy of Microsoft Office 2013, and you see the instructions here on how to get a copy for free through the school. All students have access to free copies of this, so everybody should be able to get this. You can go through this part on your own. So there are different NSC outcomes that are across the campus that are some, standards of academe. And this is just explaining how this class meets some of those outcomes and which assignments help meet those outcomes. Now, I strongly suggest you go through this section right here. What are some ways to be successful in the class? I'm not going to go through these in detail, but if you have any questions on any of these tips, please let me know, and I would love to talk to you more about how to be successful in this class. Essentially, the more that you practice, the better that you're going to be. Also, don't get behind in this class because it's not going to serve you well. It is a fast-paced class, and if you get behind, it's going to be really, really tough to get caught up. And keep in mind that a lot of the things that we learn about this class build upon previous material. So if you don't understand something that was covered the week before, you're going to have difficulty understanding the new material. So do not suffer in silence. Be sure to reach out to me for help if you feel like you're getting lost. Okay, so now let's look at the assignments that you'll be completing this semester. So along with every lecture, you're going to be doing practice problems, and the practice problems will be based on the contents of the lecture. And once you submit those practice problems, either as a typed Word document, so I'm going to give you a Word document that's the assignment, the practice problems. You can just type your answers and work it right into that Word document and submit that. That's the easiest way for you to do it, and I prefer that you submit it as a PDF because sometimes if you have maybe a different type of version of Word or something weird, maybe your formatting won't come through. So if you send it to me as a PDF, that's best. Now, if you don't feel really comfortable with, typing calculations into Word, I am going to be posting practice problem videos that go over the answers after the due date. And within that video, I will show you how to use Microsoft Word to insert equations and do the things that you're going to be doing. So after a couple times, you'll have those, you'll know how to use those tools, and it should be pretty easy for you to type up your work and submit it to me. If you never become comfortable with typing your work in Word, then you can print the practice problems. You can write on it and then scan it or take image files of it and send it to me that way. Or if you have a touch screen and you have some sort of art pad or something where you can draw digitally on the worksheets, that's fine too, and you can submit those as well. So there's multiple options for submitting practice problems. Keep in mind, the practice problems are really geared to help you practice, right? I want to give you a situation, a low stakes situation, where you can make mistakes and learn from those mistakes without being penalized. So I'm not going to grade your practice problems for accuracy. I'm just going to look at them to make sure you made an honest, good faith attempt, complete attempt at all the problems. I will post the key, and I will, again, post that solutions video so you can go back and you can critique your own work and learn from your mistakes. So those are basically free points. As long as you do it, you'll get full credit. Also, you can miss one of the practice problems and your grade won't be penalized. So if you miss one, it won't count towards your grade. So don't miss more than one, but you do have that flexibility. Also, along with pretty much every lecture, there's going to be a knowledge check. So the knowledge check is graded based on accuracy. There is no time limit though, and you can use all of your resources to complete the knowledge check. And I'll make sure that you have at least 5 days to take the knowledge check. And keep in mind, again, no time limit, and you can enter and exit that knowledge check as much as you like. So once you click an answer, Canvas will autosave it. So if you exit and come back, your answers will still be there. Just make sure that you submit it before the due date. Also, you have a little bit of flexibility with your knowledge check. So I will drop your lowest grade, but I'm not going to accept late knowledge checks. So make sure that you're doing your knowledge checks on time so that you don't have one that's missed that's automatically dropped. And if you perform poorly on one, that one will not count towards your grade. Also keep in mind that the knowledge checks and practice problems will be rounded to the thousandths place. So make sure that as you're doing your calculations, you round to the thousandths place for every single value, even values leading up to your final calculation. Now at the end of each section, so about 2 to 4 chapters, you will have a quiz. Now, unlike the knowledge check, the quiz is timed. So you will only have 2 hours to complete the quiz. So once you click start, you have to submit it within 2 hours. Now, something I really want to emphasize, do not think that you can just rely on your notes and flip through your notes and find all the answers while you're taking the quiz. That will not serve you well. You will not finish on time. So make sure that you're studying for these quizzes like you would in an in-person class, that we don't have access to your notes. While you're doing your practice problems and your knowledge checks, make sure that you're getting better at being fast and that you really understand the material so that when it comes to taking that timed quiz, you'll be prepared and you won't run out of time. Also, at the end of each section, before you take your quiz, you'll have an Excel assignment. So I will post a video showing you how to do things in Excel and giving you an assignment that goes along with it. Keep in mind, there's a lot of shortcuts in Excel. So you're really going to start doing, hand calculations for the lectures and practice problems and knowledge checks. Then I will show you how to use Excel, and you can choose using Excel or manual calculations for the quiz. It doesn't matter to me. Whichever one you want to use is fine. And finally, at the end of every section, you will have a discussion assignment where you'll either collect data or find presentations of data in the media and present those to your peers for discussion. So you can see the point structure for the class. We have the bulk of your class or bulk of your grade is for the quizzes, right? Those are those timed quizzes right there. And then you've got the practice problems, which are pretty much freebies, right? As long as you do them, you'll get full credit. You've got the knowledge checks, so those little mini quizzes that you take for each lecture. Then you've got the Excel and the discussion assignments. So let's just take a quick look at the schedule. So if we look at this, your syllabus quiz is due Wednesday. So make sure that, again, you thoroughly read this syllabus and you complete that syllabus quiz. And you have to complete the syllabus quiz, even though it's not graded, you have to complete it and get at least a 5 out of 6 to get access to the rest of the contents of the class. So make sure you take that thing as soon as possible. There's also going to be a chat room discussion board where you guys can converse throughout the semester, and I would love for you to start the semester by posting a video introduction in that discussion board. I mean, this is an online class after all. We don't really get to be face-to-face, so I think it really helps if we get to know each other a little bit through this chat room discussion board. Also, you'll see within the syllabus schedule, the things in italics, those are suggested tasks. I hope you follow those suggested tasks. And the things in bold are something that is due on a particular day. And everything will be due at 11:55 p.m. So for instance, after the first week, we're into the second week, you need to watch that first lecture. Then by Monday, then on Wednesday, you need to have submitted your practice problems for that lecture. Then Thursday, I will post the key and solutions video for you to watch. And what I suggest is you fix your practice problems, study the solutions video, to then prepare for this knowledge check that'll be due Friday. So for the most part, you've got a lecture to watch, on Monday and Tuesday, practice problems due Wednesday, knowledge check due Friday throughout the semester. And then you'll see once we get to the end of the section, you're going to have an Excel assignment due, discussion, and a quiz. So you'll see that kind of repeating throughout the semester. Watching lectures, doing practice problems, taking knowledge checks, and then at the end, doing those Excel assignments, discussions, and quizzes. Okay, so now let's pop back into the class, and I just want to quickly expose you to all the different tools that you're going to be using in Canvas this semester. So something that's really, really important will be this Announcements tab. Again, we're not going to see each other in person. We're not going to be meeting once a week to do housekeeping and, keep up with what's going on. So this Announcements tab is going to be my only tool to communicate really important time-sensitive information to you. So if the schedule changes or there's something you need to know about an assignment, it will be posted as an announcement. And make sure that you subscribe to the announcements so that you can get email alerts whenever an announcement is posted. I will assume that everybody's reading all announcements. So if I post it there, I'm going to assume that you've read it. So we already looked at the syllabus. Now let's take a quick look at the modules tab. So module 0 is important. You want to go through and read about all these nice things, especially etiquette expectations. I really expect you guys to be respectful in those discussion boards. Also, you see here's the question and answer forum. So if throughout the semester there's something that you're not understanding, maybe I wasn't clear in instructions, or maybe there's just a concept that isn't making sense, post your question here. Don't email it to me, because that way students can benefit from our discussion and students can chime in and help you out as well. And you're welcome to help others that post questions. So this will be a nice, easy way for us to have a forum where you can ask questions and get answers, and everybody has access to that information. Also, here's the chat room where you'll be posting your introduction and throughout the semester getting to know each other. Maybe, deciding or figuring out who's available when for study groups and just coordinating with each other to use each other as a resource. Now remember, I said you need to complete the syllabus quiz before you can access the modules for the class. And I already did that as my little practice student account that I am right now. And you have to get at least a 5 out of 6. So once you complete this item, you'll have a little check mark and week 2 module will open up. So let me just go through the contents of week 2 to show you what to expect. So at the beginning of each module, you will have your lectures and slides. So you'll click on this link right here to open up the lecture. This first lecture is an office mix, but the remaining lectures will be YouTube videos. So once you click that link, it'll take you to office mix. You'll have to log in using your NSC account, and then you should have access to that video. Then you've got the slides to use as a reference. So what I suggest you do is maybe print these slides, and as you watch the lecture, you can take notes. How pretty. Also, throughout each lecture, you will see gold example problems. And in the lecture video, I'll say, hey, try these on your own and then watch the solutions. I strongly encourage you to listen. Stop the video, try those example problems on your own, and then watch the solutions. Again, the more opportunities you give yourself to be tested and figure out how much you really know, the better off you'll be. Because if you're just sitting there watching me go through problems, it may seem to make sense. But then when you try to do it on your own, that's when you really know if it makes sense or not. So make sure that you're trying those gold example problems on your own before watching the solutions. And then, in addition to those gold example problems, you'll have those practice problems to get more practice as well. So let's go back to the module. So once you've watched the lecture and taken notes, you can start the practice problems. So for the practice problems, you'll see the assignment linked right here. So you just click on this. And you will enter your work right into here. And for this one, it'll be really simple to just insert and type. And within it, save it, and submit it as a PDF. However, when we start doing calculations, it'll be a little bit more challenging to type your work in. But again, I'll show you how to use the equations tool so that you can do that in the future. But here you go. So just type it in and send it in. When you are ready to submit, once you've saved it as a PDF, you could just click Submit Assignment. You'll go to choose the file. You'll find the file, and then just click Submit Assignment. And you'll see a little confirmation that it was submitted up here. Okay, back to the Modules tab. Now, eventually, and I don't have anything right here now, but the day after the practice problems are due, I will post the key for the practice problems and the solutions video showing you how I made the key for those practice problems. And then finally, once you've done the lecture, you've taken notes, you've tried the example problems, you've done the practice problems on your own, hopefully without notes, trying to do it really quickly to prepare for the quiz, and you've watched the solutions video and you've graded your own work to find your mistakes and learn from them, you're ready for the knowledge check. So, just to demonstrate the fact that it will save your answers, I'll show you. So you click Take the Quiz, right? So you pop on in. Okay, I'm going to take the quiz. Oh, I started it. Oh, I can't finish right now. I guess I need to leave. Okay, I'm just going to exit and click OK. Now, when I go back into that knowledge check, my work should be saved. So let's just double check. See, it says Resume Quiz, not Start Quiz. And my answers are saved. So I just wanted to show you and demonstrate that you can enter and exit the knowledge check as much as you please and your answers will be saved. What I don't want you to do is to leave the knowledge check open and inactive, because sometimes if your computer goes inactive, it can auto-submit, and we don't want that. So if you aren't currently taking the knowledge check, you want to exit and then come back to it later. Now keep in mind, for the quizzes, you can't do that, right? You can, but I mean, it'll save your answers, but once you click start, you've got 2 hours to do it. So if you enter and exit, the time will still be ticking. Now, eventually, once we get to the end of this section, one of these modules will have the Excel assignments and the discussions and the quizzes for you. But I think for now, you've got the tools and the understanding to use Canvas for this class, and the Modules tab is pretty much where everything will be. Also, you can get to the discussions by clicking the Discussions tab, so you'll see the question and answer forum in the chat room, and also those discussions will be available here as well. Now, another thing that I want to point out is something called Cranium Cafe. So I mentioned that when I was talking about the syllabus, but Cranium Cafe, once you click here, and it should automatically open. It's not doing it for me because I'm in student view. That is where you can go to have web conferences. So you can shoot me an email, we can schedule a time to meet on Cranium Cafe, and you can jump into Cranium Cafe and meet with me online. It's really user-friendly. You can go through kind of like the test using the Cafe bot, and it'll show you how to use the system. It's very user-friendly. There's also resources for the NSC library. There's Smart Thinking online tutoring. So there is an online tutoring available for this class. I don't really know the nitty-gritty details of it, but if you want to use it, I can find more information for you. And then finally, there's the Grades tab. So here, not only can you see your current grades, but you can do what-if grades. So, if we're getting near the end of the semester and you want to figure out what you need to get on that last quiz to get an A, you can just type here, insert a grade, and see what it would look like, and do what-if grades. All right, so I think that's quite enough for now. I just wanted to make sure that you really understood the high points of the syllabus and that you know how to use Canvas this semester. So I look forward to getting to know you guys online, and best of luck. And again, use me as a resource. Reach out for help if you need it. I'm more than happy to help you out.